the Lions are the team to beat in the NFC?
See, this is a funny week to ask that question because I'm inclined to say yes, but how am I supposed to pick against a team that just went into Green Bay and won?
Because they didn't look good doing it. The Eagles.
I mean, you can say they didn't look good doing it, but
that's not
about
where I'd go.
How did the Lions look going into Green Bay? And
that was week
football?
1. That was week 1.
Look, man, if you look at the common games, Philadelphia's winning, Detroit's losing.
Yeah.
No, I'm not being serious.
Oh, okay. I was like, where are we going with this?
Look, I do not think there is a huge gap between Detroit and Philly. I think both these teams are good. Philly struggled a lot last night, but they got it done. But the way the Lions are winning these games, I know that their game in KC looked tough. I know their game in Green Bay looked tough. And we will find out who the team to beat is this week when the Lions go to Philadelphia. But given the way that the season has played out, the Lions have been more consistent than the Eagles. I like their offense a lot more than the Eagles. The Eagles' offensive play calling, they're not going to get flack for this because they won the game. It was arguably worse than Green Bay's yesterday. Like some completely baffling decisions that they got away with. You can always count on Detroit to make intelligent choices and play their best football. And this year in the NFL, what's the theme? The theme is consistency. Can you win all the games you're supposed to win? When you're up against a tough team, can you show up? And I think the answer to that for Detroit is yes. So because of the consistency they've shown, I'm willing to say it's not an overreaction on Detroit. But it doesn't feel like last year, where for most of the season, we were talking about them as a team a tier above everyone else. I think they're the 1A to Philly's 1B.
The 1B to Philly's 1A?
No. The Lions are the team to beat.
Oh, okay. I cannot believe you didn't say the Rams or Seahawks.
Yeah,
like they even mentioned their name. I don't think Philly's on the top tier of contenders in the NFC right now. I think that tier are the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Lions. And then I drop down to Philly. Philly's not even, I mean, yeah, they have to be on the radar as the defending champions and how talented that roster is, but they have not played good football this year. So I get where you're coming from in that they have the ability to turn it on. But right now, I haven't seen it for a while. So I'm going to say the Lions are just behind the Rams at this point in time because Matthew Stafford is playing arguably the best football of his career.
Well, I don't want to hear that the Rams are a tier above the Eagles when the Rams lost to the Eagles and then beat a bunch of bad teams.
The Rams lost in Philly in a game that they were dominating, and Philly had the fumble recoveries and a comeback, and they blocked a kick to win. The Rams should have won that football game. And it just because one team beats another doesn't necessarily mean that they're on the same tiers.
I understand that. And I'm not saying that head-to-head is the only thing that matters. The Rams have beaten the Eagles, or the Eagles beat the Rams beat the Colts. But it's difficult, even though the Rams have looked very good doing it. They don't have a win like Detroit did where they blew up Buffalo. They beat the Lamar Jackson-less Ravens, which was nice. They lost to the 49ers in overtime and then beat them this week. They beat the Jaguars. They beat the Saints. Look, if the Rams are able to get it done against Seattle and Tampa and look good doing it, I will change my mind. But the Rams have not actually shown us as much as you think this season.
I mean, Ziggy, the word you just said was consistency, and the Rams have been as consistent as any team. They've been really good all year. They lost the Niners because they fumbled on the 1 yard line. They lost the Eagles because they had a kick blocked on the last play of the game. Like the Rams easily could be 9-0. Now, yes, they could have lost to the Colts if A.D. Mitchell runs into the end zone. But I think we all agree the Colts are a good team. Like the Rams, Stafford has been awesome consistently. I think he's
the best quarterback in the NFL this year.
Yeah, they've got the MVP on their team right now. They've got arguably the best receiving duo in football, and they have a great pass rush. I mean, I think that to me, they're the team to beat. And I also want to show appreciation to Seattle. Like I've had enough of no one is talking about Seattle.
We've talked about Seattle. I've said they're a very good team with high level efficiency.
Sure, but most people though at this point in time, it's still like, oh, cute Sam Darnold team. Sam Darnold, guys, is 22-5 22-5 over the last 2 years in the regular season. 22-5. And you have to, I think I said this on the other show, but you have to imagine he's sitting back like, oh my gosh, 22-5 and probably not even going to win a division either year with the Lions last season and the Rams right now. But the Seattle defense flies around. Mike McDonald's as good as it gets as far as defensive coaches in the league. And offensively, we were concerned that the O-line would be terrible and Darnold would make a ton of mistakes, and he makes a couple per game. But mostly he's responded just fantastic. And Jackson Smith and Jigba's been unstoppable. Kenneth Walker's healthy. Him and Charbonnet are a great 1-2 punch. I think across the board, Seattle is a really complete football team that is a tier 1 contender in the NFC. And we've said it a million times, the reason you'd bump them to tier 2 is because you think Sam Darnold might make one massive mistake or have a game like he did against the Rams or Lions. And I understand that fear. But right now he's just played really well for a really long time, and I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
Here's my concern with Seattle. It's actually not the Sam Darnold meltdown, which very well may happen, but I don't want to predict that. The way Seattle has won their games is exceptionally high efficiency from Sam Darnold, throwing somewhere between 15 to 25 passes a game. He did a great job against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when he had to throw, I think, 34 or 35 passes and lit them up for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. They didn't win that game. I'm not holding that against Sam Darnold, but the thing that holds me back from saying they're a tier 1 contender is we know the Rams, if it gets into a shootout, Matthew Stafford can play great football, throwing the ball 35 or 40 times. The Seahawks and Sam Darnold, you can even go back to his time with Minnesota. That has not been the formula for success with Sam. And to win in the NFC, when you're going to have to play some of the best offenses in football, you will have to play Detroit. You will have to play LA. You may have to play the Eagles, who I would not describe them as a high drop back offense, but you have to be efficient all game to beat them unless they play like they did last night. I need to see a little bit more from Sam Darnold on that front. Now, again, right, going to LA, he's going to have to prove it this week. Playing the Colts at home, they're going to have to prove it. And he very well may. I'm not ruling it out. This is why I think they're at the top of tier 2. But that's my concern. Can they win games when Sam Darnold has to produce big time, not just in efficiency, but in volume?
Does a win over the Rams this week catapult them into tier 1 for you?
If they beat the Rams in a shootout, I'm putting them in tier 1.
Okay. I think that's fair too. I think I completely understand someone having them at the top of tier 2.
Then Sam Darnold will have done it twice. I know they didn't beat the Bucs, but that was not a Sam Darnold problem. That was the defense gave up 38 points to the Buccaneers problem. If he does it twice this season.
Except he has the turnover at the end.
Yes, that was a turnover, but he threw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Totally agree. But the turnover was
where one turnover costs you the game when you have 35 points. That's not your quarterback's fault.
It's the game itself is you can't pin it on Darnold, but he threw an interception in their own territory with a tie game and a minute left, and they lost because of it. So that, yes, it's not you can't put the whole thing on Darnold, but you cannot throw that interception. You can't. I mean, if you're in if it's a playoff game, you're out. Boom, done. And that's, whether you like it or not, the narrative is Darnold couldn't do it. Even though he did it, 3 minutes before, driving them down the field to take the lead.
Yeah, but that's just bad analysis. So that's not how I'm going to think about the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, it's bad analysis, but there is truth in, he can't throw that pick. You can't throw the game-losing interception with a minute left. I mean, period. Even if it's not in totality on him. But to answer the question, the Lions, the team to beat, Dan Campbell.
Say no, I say yes.
Yeah, Dan Campbell takes over play calling. They have the most yards they've had all season, most rushing yards they've had all season. Jamison Williams, the best he's played all season. Jahmyr Gibbs, maybe his best game. There's also the Tampa Bay game. He was fantastic as well. But I'd go Rams right now. Rams, Lions, Seahawks would be my order of operations in the NFC.